Crypto can become somewhat complex. There are all these different blockchains, there are all these different decentralized exchanges. Now Velodrome is the leading decentralized exchange on a layer 2 on top of Ethereum, namely Optimism. So Optimism has been growing in adoption, and Velodrome, especially recently, saw a massive rally. Now the question is, can the current rally sustain? What's driving all of this? Let's have a look at on-chain metrics most people are not considering. So what we've got over here is dexscreener.com, and what we see at the top left is the 24-hour trading volume on the Optimism chain, which is 342 million. Now, of those 342 million, we have 225 million being transacted on the Velodrome decentralized exchange. We've also got Uniswap, we've also got Solidly, but Velodrome is leading. It's leading by more than 2x compared to the next competitor, Uniswap, which by the way is also represented on all of those other chains. Now, this is not the first video on Velodrome on this channel. I published one 264 days ago, and that video outperformed the average video. The average video is here in gray. At the time, the price was at 26 cents. And here we are today. We are yet again at 26 cents. Isn't this all-time chart quite interesting? We tend to see our rallies, then subsequent declines, then we turn around for a rally again, we decline, and now we are up for a rally one more time. Are we going to decline yet one more time? Possibly, because besides trading volume, we can also look at how much capital is currently locked up in Velodrome. That measure is called total value locked, and that did not increase since publishing of the last video. It rather went down. Velodrome made a transition from V1 to V2, but that didn't really help. Also, the new Slipstream product didn't really change the current trajectory. We do see a spike though in trading volume recently, and that explains partially the price appreciation. So there's not a lot of additional capital due to Slipstream, but there is a lot of trading volume happening. So on the left side is the trading volume in US dollars, on the right side is the swap fees. With Slipstream being more efficient than V1 and V2, the fees did not increase as much as the trading volume did. Now, the main question with any decentralized exchange token is always, what is the supply? What are the tokenomics? How much does the supply grow over time? How much do tokens get to the individual investor as incentive programs? And is that supply expansion so fast that demand cannot keep up? Is there potentially enough locking, enough staking of the supply over time that can potentially support the price? The answer is over here in this chart. This shows the percent of Velo locked over time, and this unfortunately tends to rather decline right now. In other words, locked tokens get unlocked, which means that the supply increases even faster, which means the price has a hard time outperforming the rest. And so here's probably a chart you haven't yet considered. This is the long-term Velo price relative to Bitcoin, and from its peak to its current price we saw an underperformance, and now please hold your seat, 99.8%. We did see a slowdown of that underperformance in the last 2 years, but still early investors got absolutely crushed. And there is still token inflation. This is the token mint over time. 1 year ago, we had been at 1.4 billion tokens. Now we are at 1.9 billion tokens. So the supply expanded by roughly 35%. The usage on-chain, the total value locked on-chain, did not increase to that degree. Now, what is happening? Why did we recently see that much trading volume on Velodrome? The answer is the big guys are getting involved. Binance is adding Velodrome Finance to its Earn, Buy Crypto, Convert, Margin and Futures program. So there's leverage entering the market. Most of trading volume of the token does actually not happen on Velodrome. It happens on the centralized exchanges. This is now where the price discovery happens. There were also perpetual futures before Binance started the launch, but those were not that significant. Let's have a look at the on-chain metrics. Let's have a look at the buyers and sellers. On the Optimism chain, we've got 47,000 holders, but not all of those holders are created equally, right? Some of those wallets might just have a few cents of Velo, others might have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of Velo. And so over here, we see the number of retail investors versus whale investors over time. The way we make this distinction is by minimum holding thresholds. So on the left side, we see the number of wallets that that have at least 4,000 Velo tokens. At the current price, it's roughly $1,000 worth of the token. For the chart in the middle, we go at 10x in minimum holding, so that's now $10,000 worth of the token. For the chart on the right, another 10x, so that's now $100,000 worth of the token. We saw quite constant accumulation across the board. And again, the price underperformed Bitcoin long term. Tokenomics really matter. When the supply increases too fast, that's really, really bad. But recently, we have seen a drop in those number of wallets across all wallet cohorts. Again, this is probably because now volume moves from on-chain to off-chain. People are moving their Velo to Binance to then trade it over there for potentially lower fees. The effect yesterday was definitely impressive. The number of new wallets that traded the token on-chain yesterday spiked to 5,800. The days before, it was only at around 200. Before, more than 90% of trading volume happened by returning wallets. Yesterday, we saw only 63% of trading happening by returning wallets. Just have a look at this very long-term chart. There was definitely a disruption in the Velodrome trading. Here's the number of buyers and sellers over time since June of 2023. Now things are hyper bullish right now, right? Bitcoin continues to make one high after the next, and pretty much every altcoin is appreciating right now. It almost feels like because there's so much correlation within crypto that it doesn't really matter what we buy. What we see over here is the others dominance. So how much of all of crypto is in the altcoins that's not in the top 10 in terms of market cap. And that's growing very nicely, very steadily in the last days. And I see this in the statistics of this crypto channel as well. Nobody was interested in crypto just a few weeks ago, and suddenly we're spiking up in terms of attention again. And so yes, it's true that everything tends to go up, but there are still ways to outperform. So for example, over here, this is the meme coin market, and in the last 7 days, AI16Z more than doubled. Yes, Bitcoin went up as well, but it definitely did not double. Now it's at a price of 43 cents. But the question is, how can we get into a token like AI16Z before it doubles? How can we find out about tokens like this early? And what I personally like to do is I like to follow other influencers. I like to follow insiders. I like to follow people that tend to move the markets, especially for those very small tokens. So have a look at this. Kyle Chessy bought AI16Z on the Jupiter exchange on Solana for 1.8 cents. And he didn't just buy once, he bought several times. Since then, the price went up by more than 2,000%. Now, who is Kyle Chessy? He's an influencer that tends to buy tokens very early, where of course not every single token makes these kinds of returns, but it's a bit like VC investing, right? You make 10 bets, you hope for 2 of those bets to make returns like this, and you're okay when the other 8 out of those 10 bets don't work out as well. So here we go, here is his channel. He's got 138,000 subscribers, and we track 12 of his wallets. So this is how wallet tracking works, right? You use on-chain analytics to find out who owns what wallet. And once you've got the wallet, you put this in a tracker. And then whenever this wallet makes a transaction, whenever this wallet buys or sells, we get an automatic notification. We are not just tracking Kyle Chessy, we also track Crypto Banter, for example. They've got 1.1 million subscribers. When they talk about a token, especially a small cap token, that token definitely goes up because there's a lot of attention on the token, right? Attention equals purchases, purchases equal a higher price. We've got 33 of Crypto Banter's wallets. And we're also tracking, for example, Alex Becker. He's got 1.5 million subscribers. We've got 12 of his wallets. And so really, I believe this is the way to beat the crypto market. It's to know more than most. It's not just to pick random tokens in a list, hope that they will make a 2-3x in this bull run. It's actually to be early. It's so early that most people don't know about this yet. I believe in this strategy so much that I made 8 dedicated tutorial videos just on wallet tracking. So how can we find influencer wallets? How can we track them? And how can we then also interpret the signals that we get from the tracking? It's all part of the premium membership of this channel. The link is down below, thebitcoinstrategy.com. Premium is not just about wallet tracking. It's also about backtesting. It's also about macro indicators. It's also about risk mitigation, portfolio diversification, etc. There's more than 100 tutorial videos in total in premium. And so yeah, people are very happy. Feel free to stop this video over here and read this feedback. The most important thing is, of course, once we have those kind of signals, that we also get some feedback from the rest of the community, right? That we discuss when should we buy, when should we sell, what are the current on-chain analytics analytics. That's why I've got dedicated chats on the individual altcoins as well. So feel free to check it out. Feel free to invest some of the gains to make the portfolio grow even faster. There's also a 1-week money back guarantee. So in case you don't like premium, just message me within the first week and I will refund you 100%. You really have zero risk. Now let's ignore all of this disruption by the listing on Binance and all of this attention that brought. Let's have a look at the relative valuation of Velo to other decentralized exchanges. Is it still worth to buy Velo just from a fundamental perspective? I think a lot of that has to do with where the long-term trading volume of Velodrome will be. Currently, if the current levels can be sustained, Velodrome is very cheap because again, there was trading volume of 225 million in the last 24 hours. And that's at a market cap of 226 million. Now let's compare this with SushiSwap. Sushi has roughly double the market cap. Does it also have double the trading volume? Does it have around 400 million of trading volume? It's not that easy to answer because SushiSwap is used on different chains. But let's have a look at this. This is Arbitrum, 20 million. Here is Base, another 24. So that's now 44 million. Another 8 on Ethereum. So that's now 52 million. Another 2 on Polygon. So 54 million. And now it really thins out. Here's Optimism. All of this combined is around 55 million. So SushiSwap has roughly 4 times its market cap relative to its daily trading volume. Velodrome has currently roughly the same market cap compared to its trading volume in the last 24 hours. But again, it's very important to see where that trading volume will be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. If it comes down and if it goes to the level of roughly 50 million, then Velodrome might be fairly priced. If it doesn't go down that much, then Velodrome could be still cheap. But again, this is the fundamentals, and currently price discovery happens on the centralized exchanges, right? All of the centralized exchanges hold now a lot of the tokens for market making, and Binance is definitely hedging itself with those perpetual futures exposures as well. If you got some value out of this video, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you in the next video, or see you in premium. Cheers.